All right, hello wine drinking people. Today is Thursday, May 5th. Getting ready to take down a bunch of Burgundy tonight at Cafe Max with our friends from Jean-Charles Boisset family of wines. All right, well, before we get to what we've got to sell you today, we've got a little bit of wine news from Flavio here. Let's check out and see what is going on in the world of wine. All right, well, good to know. I think we mentioned that Jess Jackson had passed away last week. We reviewed some of his wines. But, these segments, we're trying to keep you up to date on things that are going on. And we've got a new segment for you coming out tomorrow, folks. Also, somewhat informative, but should be a little humorous, too, called Legendary Wines with Alfred Rupert. What the hell is his name? Alfred, some old guy that drank every great wine in the world. So it should be a lot of fun. All right, well, what have we got to sell you today? Today we have got one of the great wines of Italy. Hey, I know I got a one-track wine. It's Barolo. Hey, we're going to mix it up and throw Brunello in there. What the heck is it? Why does every great wine-producing region start with a B? Bordeaux, Burgundy, Barolo, Brunello. It's a heck of a lot of them anyways. A lot of my favorites. Well, Brunello di Montalcino, definitely one of the top wines made in Italy. And, we just had our 2006 tasting, which is the newest release from Brunello. But, what I've been saying about these Brunellos is even though they're released late, 5 years after the vintage by law, they still need time in the bottle in a great vintage like 2006. So they may be a great prospect to buy and hold, but not a great prospect to drink tonight. So we are constantly looking for older vintage wines that are drinking beautifully. And you know what? Whenever we show a vertical selection of Brunello from the last 10 years, the wines that really stand out as being the best wines to drink tonight are wines from vintages like 2000. We've got a 2000 wine in this offer today, and 98, which are considered lesser vintages. You know, a great wine like this, Brunello Montalcino, you have to watch the producer. Great producers are not going to put out bad wines. Even the last bad vintage in this area, 2002, there were some really nice little wines. We sold about 75 cases of Valdecava's Rosso in 2002. Hey, they didn't make Brunello in 2002, so all those grapes went into the Rosso di Montalcino. Well, today we have got another great producer, somewhat of a newcomer to the Montalcino area, Poggio Di Sotto. But even though this family first invested in this vineyard in 1989 and started to get things going in here, hey, this Poggio, they were making wine here in the 13th century. At that time, it belonged to the Abbey of St. Antimo, and it's amazing. Some of the world's great wine-producing regions, some of them have close to 1,000 years of history of producing great wines. Well, like I said, this one didn't start until 1989, and the family that founded this did years of research to find the best soil conditions in Montalcino, an exposition to the south, with a wonderful microclimate and balanced nutrition for the Sangiovese varietal. Sangiovese is one of those grapes that's just hard to pick up and transplant to another area. Montalcino is the only area that you have to use it 100% by law. The main difference between the other DOCGs in Tuscany is that you can blend Sangiovese with other varietals, and most people feel that Sangiovese needs something else, in order for it to make it complex and interesting wines. And you know what? In Montalcino, in great vintages like 01, this wine's now 10 years old, just starting to drink really nicely, but these 01's a classic vintage. can last another 20 years in your cellar. We have the '01 Poggio Di Sotto here. We have the 2000 Poggio Di Sotto. As I mentioned before, 2000 maybe not as highly of a regarded vintage, but you know, drinking at or near its peak right now. This wine is classic Brunello. They don't use new barrique at Poggio Di Sotto. They use old barrique, pretty traditional winemaking style winemaking here. And then the 2001, just a beautiful wine. This lovely kind of smoke and scorched earth, layers of sweet dark fruit, really big. This lovely sour cherry, wild strawberry fruit. One of the things I love about the Sangiovese varietal, it has this lovely zest and tang. The Sangiovese varietal, some people compare it to Pinot Noir. You know, in a vintage like 2000, these wines have got very light color. You might even mistake it for a Burgundy by looking at it, but the aromas in here, you know, I've often mistaken them for being Barolo. They do have a little bit of that tar that you get in Barolo sometimes, and they do have that lovely fresh plowed earth nuance, and also some kind of herbaceousness that you get sometimes in the Piedmont, but a little different. You know, the wines of Montalcino have this lovely floral character too. That is from the Sangiovese varietal, and you know, incredible complexity, incredible length. The 2000 maybe a little lighter and a little shorter on the finish. The 2001 still monstrous and needs probably more time in your cellar if you want it to be completely mature. But two great wines. Check them out on this offer. Our 2000 and 2001 Poggio Di Sotto Brunello di Montalcino. I'm your host, Andrew Lamposoni, signing off for the Wine Watch, saying remember, always drink the good stuff first.